Okay, so we're going to do a fruit review on this thing right here. Okay, it's not really a fruit, but it kind of is. It's eaten like a fruit. This is called a jicama. It's either pronounced jicama or I've heard it pronounced jicama. I've talked to some Spanish-speaking people in the food store, and I asked them what is the correct pronunciation, and they said jicama with an H. All right, so I want to show you how it's spelt. If you could, I don't know if you can even see this. There you go. Okay, so that's how it's spelt. This product is from Mexico, but these are generally grown all over the world. There is some history behind this. This fruit was sought after in the 14, 15, 1600s, somewhere in there. It was very popular, and it was traded just like any other fruit. So this was this particular fruit was, or tuber should I say, was very popular in early history or medieval times. So this was a very popular item. But nowadays, not many people know about it, and not many people have even tried this, including myself. Now, we're going to cut this open. We're going to show you what it looks like on the inside, and then we're going to do a taste test on it. But I just kind of want to show you what it looks like all the way around. I'm assuming this part is probably the bottom. There's probably a long tap root that comes out of it, and then this is where the vine comes out of the top. Now, I did buy 2 of these, and one I got the sprout. So I'm going to show you the sprout in a greenhouse that I planted, and we're growing it out. We'll see how far we can get from, get it to grow. If it doesn't, we don't get any growth out of it at all by the end of the year. I mean, if I can't even show you the leaves or anything, then I'm just going to bring it in and eat it. But we're going to cut this open and do a taste test on this right now. So let me just grab my handy dandy thing, my good old knife, cut it right in half. Hopefully it's not rotten. It looks a little rotten on the inside over here. Oh, that's pretty disappointing. Unfortunately, you can see that it's kind of, something's wrong with it on the inside. I don't know. Could be old. Who knows? But let's cut another part out here, maybe. Feels hard, like it's getting ready to go back into growing. Yeah, it's a little bit funky, but I'm still going to cut off a piece of the end of it, and we'll taste test that. It's probably way past its storage date. Now, from what I understand, you can store these things for quite a long time. It has like a root kind of a smell to it. Wash off my knife. Wasn't expecting it to look like this, to be honest with you. I thought it would be a little bit better than that, but we could still do a taste test on part of it anyway. I'm not going to keep the rest of this. I didn't know this stuff was going rotten or bad. I did have it sitting on my countertop for like 2 weeks. I just never got around to eating it because I'm doing smoothies and other stuff. It's, So here's a piece of it anyway. I'll cut it out with my paring knife. Probably eat the root skin with it too, but just for the sake of video, we'll cut out a little piece of it like this, and then we'll describe the flavor. Alright, so here it is. Here's a little piece of it. Hopefully it's not bitter tasting or sour or anything because of it going bad. I don't really know how to check for these to see if they're going bad, but hopefully it's somewhat tastes correctly and not offset because it's too old. So let's give it a bite. Let me describe the texture for you first. The texture is very much like eating a pear, like an unripened pear. Not totally ripe, but like when it's still coarse and you're chewing that grittiness to a unripened pear. It's kind of like that, very much like that actually. It chews up pretty much the same way. It is kind of moist. It's not really dry, even though this one's probably going bad. I'm going to try to describe the flavor. It's kind of got 2 flavors to it that make up its flavor profile. It's not quite that simple. In one sense, it has an earthy tone, like it tastes sort of like something like a tuber from the earth. If you've ever tried to eat a raw potato, and it's kind of got that flavor of dirt. That's kind of what it tastes like. It tastes like soil, or what soil would taste like. I mean, I don't eat soil, but it kind of tastes like what soil would taste like. So it has that earthy tone is the best way I can. That's one side of the flavor profile. The other side of the flavor profile is it has a sweetness to it. It's hard to describe the sweetness. It just tastes very lightly sweet. And the sweetness can probably range depending on, of course, if your Jicama isn't rotten the way this one is. It really depends on that, of course. And I'm sure you can get them much sweeter with a better flavor profile. But the one that you're seeing that I'm doing now, just the way it is, it has that sweetness. Now, as far as like the other flowery or fruit tasting side of it, let me finish this and try to give you an idea if there's any other kind of fruit that I can relate it to that it would taste like. Swallowing it, when you go to swallow it, you got to make sure that you chew it really good and then swallow it, because you don't want to choke on it, you know. I'm trying to do a video, so I already got the flavor, but now I have to continue chewing it to make it so it's appropriate for me to swallow. If not, it kind of gets stuck in your throat a little bit, kind of. And I don't want to talk and spit it all out as I'm talking. It's got an interesting flavor. It doesn't. I've heard people describe it as tasting like a pear. It's the flavor in this particular Jicama is very light in flavor, so it doesn't really have a strong pronounced flavor. So it's very light in flavor. But if I was to try to equate it to something, it's probably very close to what a pear would taste like, an unripened pear. So if you go to the store and you buy a pear, and it's kind of yellow and soft, and you eat it that way, you're going to get a soft, sweet effect from it. You're going to taste like a pear. But if you eat an unripened pear where it's still kind of hard and coarse, that's going to be a little bit different of a taste. It's going to be a lighter in the pear taste. You'll still taste the sweetness. It's very much like an unripened pear is the only way I can describe it. It's not off in flavor. It's not unpleasant. It's actually a very cool thing to eat. I'm probably going to pick I already bought two of them, and one of them, as you can see, is no good. The other one's already in my greenhouse. I'm going to show you that in a minute, because we're going to grow that out and maybe do a follow-up video on that if it goes somewhere. And yeah, I will probably be buying these more often in the future, so hopefully I can get a really good tasting one. I'll try to take another piece off of this and see if I can eat it. The fact that it's rotten on the inside, it's not really rotten, it's just kind of going bad a little bit. Here, I'll show you what it looks like as I guess they go bad. See, it's hard. It's not like giving me a sign that it went bad on me, you know, I don't know. But there is a lot of brownness forming in there. It's oxidizing. I don't know. There's a lot of big hollow cavities in there. So, I don't know. It probably just wasn't one of the best ones. I'm not an expert. I'm picking Jicama. So, if you're an expert on picking out your Jicamas, well, to let me know. I'll make sure I do that in the future. But generally the way you would normally, the customary way to eat it would be to cut it into like French fries, and then eat the French fries like you would eat celery sticks or carrot sticks or anything else. So this is a good little addition if you want to add it to your lunchbox. Oh yeah, it's a shame that I had to pick a bad one, huh? But at least now you know, if you buy these, I don't know, there's some of them had wax on them and some of them didn't. You probably might want to get the one that's kind of shiny and look waxy. This one I picked because it looked unwaxed and I wanted to sprout them. So maybe that had something to do with the reason why it's kind of getting brown on top. It could be a blight from their plantation, who knows. But look at this, I can peel the skin right off like that. I don't even need to pare it. It came off in one piece. Wow. Again, it's a very hard type of, it's a very hard type of root. It's very much like potato, but a very hard potato. Like I say, it's kind of juicy when you eat it. The sweetness is good. There is an earthy tone to it, though. So, I mean, if that's going to bother you, that earthy tone, maybe don't eat it. They're not really cheap either in the supermarket. I forgot what I paid for that, $2 or $3 for that one. So, but that's, if you're going to eat the whole thing, that's a good deal, actually, because I mean, you can't eat that whole thing in one sitting. You could probably eat a slice a day if you want. I don't know much about its nutrition as far as how much starch it has, how much protein and stuff like that. It's a tuber, so you're going to have to probably imagine it's going to have some kind of starch in it. So when you go to swallow it, kind of hard because it's very gritty, and as you swallow it, it kind of like hangs up in the back of your throat a little bit. You got to like swallow a couple times and make sure it's down. You won't choke on it. It's just one of those kind of things when you eat it, it doesn't want to go down easy. It's not slip and slide, you know. I would say give it a go. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this I would iterate about. Like I say, there is a little bit of an earthy tone to it, so it's not really bad. It's just something you kind of need to get used to eating it. It's like if you ever eat a raw potato, and I have, and it's not the most desirable thing to want to do is to eat a raw potato. It kind of has that earthy soil taste to it when you eat them raw. When you cook them, they taste good, but when you eat them raw, I don't know if you can barbecue this either. You know, you might be able to put this on a grill and heat it up and barbecue it. I don't know. Or make mashed potatoes a sweet type of a mashed potato. I don't know really any recipes, but this is the way I always see it being eaten, is raw. And that's the way it's usually preferred to be eaten. So I really can't think of anything else to say about it, but what we'll do is let me show you what I got growing outside, and we will end the video after that. But I just want to show you I got one sprouted, so follow me in the back. Alright, so here we are in the greenhouse, and I want to show you my jicama I got sprouted and starting to grow. Now, I don't know how long this thing is actually going to take to actually form a vine that's going to grow into something at all. I mean, I don't expect much out of it, but I'm trying to get you a good clear view without it going like right there. So you can see that it's sprouted, and I don't know how many leaves it's going to get on it before the end of the year, but I'm going to end up digging this thing back up and cutting it open and eating it eventually. Hopefully it's not rotten inside like the one we just did a review on. But that's what we got started on the jicama. Now, I don't notice any progress really with it. It's pretty much went like this, and then that was all I seen. Never did anything else. So once the end of the year comes, we'll see how far this thing gets, or if I see any other major progress, we will definitely update you on that. So we'll see how far we can get with it, and maybe we'll cut this one open and retaste it. All right? Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.